My colleague and our medical correspondent here on KTN News, Dr. Korir, now joins us live in studio. Thank you. What do we know so far?
Well, what we know is that there have been allegations that are made on social media, and the media has tried to go and find out and get to the bottom of what's happening at the Kenyatta National Hospital. Nothing much has come from there, as far as I know, that no one has really come out to say, I'm a victim of this and this. And the report that we expect later on today from the Cabinet Secretary for Health, I don't expect it to have much in terms of what, if they found out anything about who has been affected by these allegations, because they interviewed mothers, they interviewed staff, they talked to them, but no one really has come out to say I'm a victim. What they're saying is that once they have come to the hospital, once they've been admitted at the hospital, or they have come to the hospital, they have been told that these times are not safe to be outside alone. And so mothers have always been told these stories, and they have been living in fear while in the hospital, because they've been told this has ever happened. But from the ones they have talked to, none has really come out to say, you know, that I'm a victim of this. But they have been told this has actually been happening. So we expect that, and a few, obviously, recommendations. And we have seen what the board has said, that they will beef up security, they'll increase security, and the police there, they will put up lighting in that particular area, and that they will increase the CCTV coverage for that particular area.
And I want us to take a look at that document in just a short while, but what are we saying? What we are saying, are we saying that we are not expecting much from that report that will be released today or be hinted at by the Cabinet Secretary for Health?
Yes, from my own sources and from what I know is that the report doesn't really have much in terms of saying these are the victims. They have done some preliminary investigations and asked people in the hospital about it, but it's not really tangible as to say who was affected, who was assaulted by whom. And I think that is part of, what the staff were complaining about, that how can Kenyatta investigate itself. And they were actually asking for external investigations, probably by the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, probably by FIDA, to have an external eye look into the problems of Kenyatta. And I'd like to, at this point, say that what we are seeing in Kenyatta would probably be something symptomatic of a bigger problem about the hospital. First of all, let's start with the arrangement of the hospital, where the mothers are on a different floor from the neonates or from the children. In other facilities, you'll find that the nursery and the mothers are actually in opposite ward, so that the mothers just walk across to where the children are. And in case of an emergency, in case a mother is needed, actually the journey from the mother's facility or from the mother's ward to the nursery is actually a short distance. But what we see in Kenyatta is actually more of a structural or a different arrangement, which actually I saw in the board report that they were looking at if they can reorganize that, so that to make it convenient for the mothers and to make it also safe.
All right.
Secondly,
just finish so that we can look at the document.
Secondly, we are looking at a bigger problem, and this is our referral system, where we find everyone goes to Kenyatta. Kenyatta is supposed to be a referral facility, a level 6 referral facility, which should handle complicated or complex cases. But we have mothers doing normal delivery in Kenyatta. We have regular and complicated CSs being taking place in Kenyatta, while in actual sense, your level 4, level 5, level 4, and level 3 facilities should be handling this. And that means Mbagathi, Mama Lucy, Pumwani, even the health centers within Nairobi and its environs should actually be handling most of these cases, so as to decongest Kenyatta and only leave Kenyatta to deal with the complex cases. So we're seeing that we are having multiple issues, and the current state that we are in is, in my opinion, very symptomatic of a bigger problem and a bigger agenda that should be addressed.
All right, let's just show you the document that Dr. Korir here is talking about, some of the recommendations that have been made by the Kenyatta National Hospital Board on the allegations of assault of patients at the largest referral hospital in the country. We'll just take a look at quickly some of the very interesting bits from this. Of course, the board says that it fully endorses the earlier actions by the hospital management from the 19th of January 2020 2018 to commence internal investigations into the situation or the allegations, as well as, of course, an invitation for the Directorate of Criminal Investigations to take up these particular investigations. The board also says that with immediate effect, they have approved the engagement of additional security features to complement the private security firms, and they have also requested the DCI to boost security for that, but the National Police Service rather to boost security for the largest referral hospital in the country. Remember that the National Women Political Leadership on the 20th, a day after this particular story broke, led by Member of Parliament Sabina Chege, who's also the chairperson of the Health Committee in Parliament, did a tour at the Kenyatta National Hospital and spoke to a number of mothers. And the board now wishes to inform the public that the infants in the newborn units are separated from their mothers for clinical reasons and not any other reason, as per what has been circulating on social media and, of course, conversations that Kenyans are having out there. And the board says that they have asked the hospital management to explore if functionally the breastfeeding mothers could be relocated closer to the newborn unit for their convenience. What our medical correspondent, Dr. Korir, is talking about here. And of course, they're inviting members of the public who have been affected or who are victims of these allegations to come forward and report any complaints. That's just some of the major recommendations that are coming from the board of the Kenyatta National Hospital after this particular story broke on the 19th of January. We're seeing everyone take this up. We've seen politicians do tours. We know that a report is expected to be released by the Health Committee of Parliament on Friday, which is the 26th. Like, everyone seems to be taking this issue. Do you think, from your own expertise, that we are handling this the right way?
Well, my own opinion is that we are treating a symptom instead of curing the disease. It's good to handle the allegations, the sexual allegations. By all means, they should be investigated fully. But we should look at where the real problem is at. And what I said is that our referral system does not work the way it should work. For example, mothers whose children are stable or who have been discharged, some still continue staying in hospital because, one, because of bills, or two, they cannot be referred to the lesser facilities, because apart from having an upward referral, there should be a downward referral where after the children have been stabilized from ICU and they need now to go to the ward, they should be able to be referred to another facility where they can recuperate as they go home. But now what we find is that everyone stays at the hospital. We find mothers sharing beds. That's nothing new at the Kenyatta National Hospital and in actually some facilities across the country. So we find it, for me, it's a bigger problem. It's good that everyone has come on board to address this, but I'm afraid that if we only focus at the allegations that have been, the sexual allegations that have been put across, then we may forget to address the real issues of the ground. Secondly is that, well, it's good that the Parliamentary Committee on Health will look at this. Sabina Chege was there, but they really need to have sat down and called the management, the board, and the cabinet secretary to explain and give an explanation. No such thing, okay, to our knowledge, has actually done to that effect. It should be a public inquiry so that people understand and see the people where the buck stops with are brought to the table to answer and to give feedback the right way. And proper action should be taken if anyone is found to be really culpable of to have anything that have lapsed to be anyone's fault. It should actually be addressed. So it's a good start. But more needs to be done. And secondly, the bigger picture of our referral system needs to be addressed so that Kenyatta should be left to do the actual job of the referral facility instead of doing what the lesser or the other levels of hospitals can do.
Dr. Korir, thank you very much for coming in. Dr. Korir is a medical correspondent here at KTN News. Later on, I will be having that conversation with the activists who are just from that particular march to just get their side of the story.